go against that, Coach. Obviously, Jenna's not in the lineup. Do you have any sort of timetable or idea of what she's dealing with?
No. I know we're supposed to say upper body stuff, but concussion, and so, well, it's a day-by-day thing, and again, Jenna's got such a good spirit to her and energy. She's one that I think will get through it fairly quick, but you just, once that stuff happens, you just never know the timeline. It could be, seems minimal, and symptoms just don't persist, doesn't go away. So yeah, day by day.
And then with this Montreal team, obviously, I mean, you play the two top teams in the league back to back. They seem to be getting production all over their roster. Just what jumps out to you when you're preparing for this Victoire lineup?
Two things. One, they're really good off the rush and into the offensive zone. They do a really good job, and then they're obviously really good on offensive zone face-offs. So you can see that they've played together a long time. They got set plays that we've identified, and just we'll do our best to kind of shut that down. And ultimately, if you can win face-offs, but they have one of the best face-off people in the league. So yeah, those are the two big areas that stick out to me, and is just how good they are off the rush and in the offensive zone. So that's an area that we talked about with Boston after the game. Just we've been really good at shutting down the D zone, and that was the first night that we lost that battle, percentage war against the first team this year. So identify that and get back to how we defend and defend hard. But it's when good teams come in, that's why they're good. They're hard to defend against. So we'll get back on that tonight.
Steve, you were talking before the game the other night about the luxury of your goalie situation and having three really very strong options back there. As you get into a more regular rhythm of games, what's your general philosophy on how you sort of balance rotating versus maybe going with a hotter hand who might be playing a little bit better?
Yeah, it is. It's always unique. Sometimes it's rhythm, sometimes it's hot hand. You do kind of map out a plan, but that plan has to be able to change based on someone who's really going or matchups. So I just thought tonight again, getting Hannah in tonight, and then we'll go from there. But it is nice to play a few in a row and kind of get that going. But again, it's something that you map out, but it doesn't mean you stick to it.
Hey Steve, I'm just wondering, only having one day in between games, how is the team doing? How do they mentally prepare, and how do you prepare them to go into this next game?
Well, it's always easier to prepare after a win. It's tougher when you lose because you got to look at when we beat Ottawa, everything's good, video's good. You lose, you got to look at the other side of it, the things that you didn't do well. But again, even within that, you try to pull out the good stuff, and some of the good stuff that I like, we worked on our offensive zone, and we outdid Boston by just about 2 minutes in O-zone possession time, 3 minutes of actual in-zone time. So we just have to continue that, get a little bit more hungry around the net like that. But on the day off, we got on the ice for a very short bit, had good tempo, and just try to have fun so they reset their mind coming in today.
Steve, I made it before the game. I wasn't going to let you down, Coach.
Yeah.
Has the league given you much guidance or instruction about the takeover tour game, or have you talked to anybody who's played neutral site games from a coaching perspective in terms of how this might be different than a regular home or away game, in approaching it and keeping your players focused when there's going to be other unusual activity surrounding the game?
Yeah, I think for the most part, the league does a good job of just talking to the people that need that information and what goes on. Like Hannah Armstrong, our hockey ops, I mean, she's amazing and detailed and knows all that stuff that's going on. So she directs us of where to go and how to handle things. And then you rely on just the experience. I know our newer players will have a little bit more, but a lot of our players have been in the league for a year or two, so they understand how important the takeover games, how fun they are. And I know Hannah Bilka's dropping a puck at the game. Those things I think they're team builders. as well, these takeover tours, because it's fun to kind of be part of this energy that these cities put on, and I think for that is amazing. For the coaching, it's at the end of the day, you walk behind a bench and you coach a game, right? Another opponent in a neutral site game, so I don't think it's an advantage either way. I think the crowd, for the most part, PWHL crowds cheer for the game. You know, that's one of the things that drew me to this. I know it's exciting for us to score the last goal here, but our fans were amazing, you know, the other night, and cheering on that last goal. I think they walked away thinking we won, scoring that goal at the end. It's just amazing energy in the buildings everywhere we go.
Well, did you know the league website at first put up that it was a 1-0 forfeit?
Yeah, I did notice that. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, you're like, we did play, didn't we?
yeah.
Anyone else?
So you've said that this league, you know, has great goaltenders and it's all about the secondary chances, and it seems like the Torrent do and can score when they get net front. That's where a lot of recent goals have come from. Where do you see there's still obviously work to be done in that area? How do you think you can improve on that and get to the right place?
Yeah, that was, again, we addressed it a little bit more. We had good footage from the Boston of how we possess the puck. And one of the things we talked about was getting the puck to the net more, especially against Boston's goaltender that hadn't played, and there was rebounds to be had. But one of the things I look at is even strength screen shots, and that's one of the areas that we're doing really well at right now, is having a body in front. If we can get that body in front, make it hard on the goaltender, and then it also leads into other offensive of finding those loose pucks around the net that lead to those secondary chances. So for me, that's a real big focus, is making sure we have someone always at that net, making life hard for their defenders and their goaltender.
Short and sweet today. Thanks, Coach.
Great, thanks very much.